Welcome. It's fabulous to see everyone. It's a great day. We got rid of most of the snow. Hallelujah. So we won't talk about what's on the forecast for Thursday, but we'll leave that till Thursday. It's great again to see everyone. If you're able, would you please stand for our pledge and our four-way test, and then the invocation today will be given by Katie Miller. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the four-way test? Is the truth, is it fair to all concerned, will it build goodwill and better friendships, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Katie?
Okay, so one thing, first of all, the reason I signed up to do invocations is I want to kind of show that you can be maybe somebody who has a profanity problem and maybe it's a little irreverent, but can still have moments of reflection and show that really anybody can do this. You don't have to be a very religious person or well-spoken. And most of you know that I do pull my invocations from musical lyrics, more specific country music. And as we reflect on what it means to be a Rotarian in this world, let these words inspire you. And this is from The World Full of Hate by Thomas Rhett. In a world full of hate, be a light. When you do somebody wrong, make it right. Don't hide in the dark. You were born to shine. In a world full of hate, be a light. In a place that needs change, make a difference. In a time full of noise, just listen. Because life is but a breeze, better live it. In a place that needs change, make a difference. In a race that you can't win, slow it down. You only get one go around. Because the finish line is 6 feet in the ground. In a race you can't win, just slow it down. It's hard to live in color when you just see black and white. In a world full of hate, be a light. And you're very welcome for me not singing to you.
Thanks, Katie. You're wonderful. You may be seated. Thank you so much. Thank you for making us chuckle. That's wonderful. So again, this is January, so I get to say happy 2023. We have several guests today, and it's always a pleasure to have guests amongst us. So as I say hello to our guests and welcome to the Rotary Club of Akron, a few little tidbits of did you know? Did you know that Rotary transforms communities with approximately 47 million volunteer hours each year? And our Rotary funds that we donate to sustains projects, not only here in the United States, but worldwide. And they are worth approximately 333 million global service dollars. So for us as Rotarians, no challenge is too big. For more than a century, we have bridged cultures and connected continents. We've been a champion of peace. We have fought literacy, illiteracy, and poverty. We've helped so many people around the world get access to clean water and sanitation, and of course to fight disease, polio being the focus. Our newest project now is to protect our planet and its resources. And with all of that information shared, it's again a pleasure to have our guests here today. I'm Linda Farkas. I'm honored to be the 2022-23 president of our club. So again, thank you for coming, and thank you to our guests online today. So will our Jeff will do our, and welcome to our guests, please.
I think I saw Jeff in the parking lot grabbing, so
No.
let me get the list, I'll fill in for him,
Okay.
Linda.
All right. We do impromptu very well. We're not afraid to give you a couple minutes to eat some of your lunch.
Jeff is grabbing a few things, I think, related to the Chili Open. So I'll fill in as the greeter. We've got a few visiting Rotarians with us today. David, forgive me, you've been here enough that I should know how to pronounce your last name.
David Paul. Everybody skips the last name.
All right, David Paul. Well, thank you for being here from the Medina Sunrise. We've got James Jeffries from the Hudson Club. James, welcome. Thank you for being here. Dan O'Connell, you have a guest today. Dan, all right, if you want to make an introduction here.
Yeah, this is Peter Ryerson, a friend of mine from SCORE mostly, and turned into a very good friend, and thought I'd invite him to Rotary, see what it's all about.
Peter, thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Thank you. Pleasure to meet you. And we have our, let's see here, Jerry as our speaker as the guest today, so we'll have a separate introduction for that coming up here. Yeah, well, thank you for being here. We'll have that intro, and then, let's see here, Karen, you have a guest, Amy?
I'd like to introduce Amy. Amy is with Leadership Akron, and I'll let her tell you why, but she asked, hey, aren't you a Rotarian? Can I come to the meeting? So. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you very much. I am a former Rotary student from a youth program many, many years ago, and I am looking at getting more involved with hosting exchange students and maybe coming into that part of the program. So I'm super excited to be here. Thanks.
Thanks for being here. And again, I know, Jerry, you'll do the intro, but our guest is Andrew Thorn. Not to give you, to skip over you in that way. So our speaker from Rhythm and Roots Farm. So we'll look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Very good. Welcome to all our visitors, and we certainly hope that you'll come back. We'd love to have you back. At this time, Connor, since Jeff isn't here, do you want to do Happy Dollars real quick?
Yeah,
please.
Who's,
I'm going to have you up and down.
That's okay. I'll just stand up. I'm used to it. Anyone happy today that wants to get us started? All right, Tom. All right, 5 Happy Dollars.
Hopefully everybody knows this by now, but we are having a breakfast meeting on February the 17th, Friday, 7 o'clock in the morning at Akron Family Restaurant. It is not a replacement meeting, it's just an addition to, so hopefully some of you can make it. Thanks.
Thank you, Tom. Anyone else happy? Dan, all right.
I got 2 happy hours. We're getting closer and closer to Chili Open, and the past week has been a very eventful Chili Open week. I just wanted to thank everybody that helped out and came to Whitey's, and we had a great time. And then Saturday morning, we unloaded the trailer. So you will not be seeing the big trailer probably ever again at a Chili Open. Let it rest in peace.
That's right. All right. David, all right, I see everyone, I'm going to make my way around the room, so Thane.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. So just one happy topic today. Really happy and excited to see my friend and fellow board member Mike Shear. I know, Mike, we missed you a lot. Best lecturer, I think, at Kent State University. So welcome back. It's great to see you. Very happy for everything you're doing.
Anyone else here? Okay, I know David. I'm going to just make my way around here. Julianne, I think you're next.
So I think I have $1. I got to spend the last 2 weeks down in Florida at Dad's. So I went to the Punta Gorda Rotary Club, where I think there were more Ohio people than there were Floridians at the meeting. And sitting at the table, there was a gentleman there, and he says to me, "Oh, you're from Akron? My son just moved to Akron." So it turns out he's friends with my niece, first with my niece here in Akron. So it was a pretty fun connection of people.
Thank you very much. All right. David, over to you here.
$1, sir. I'm very happy as your district chairman for Outbound Rotary Youth Exchange to report that after many months of training and interviewing and vetting, we have our 4th student that I approved and submitted last night. Thank you all of you for your support of this important youth exchange program.
Thank you very much, David. Oh, all right, Jim, yes. Oh, all right.
Well, I want to say thank you to all of you. I've ditched the walker, and I have a chauffeur right here.
Thank you very much. Wow, $2, that's special. Okay, we got a couple more that have popped up, all right. All right, you take your time here, I'll give it to our speaker, Andrew.
I guess I'm happy with my, sorry, a snowboarding injury, my neck flared up. So it's finally doing a lot better. I can turn my head again and I can speak today, because I probably couldn't have a couple days ago. So I'm happy about that.
Thanks for being here, Andrew. Yeah, Jim. You prefer Jim, not James, so apologies, I was going off the sheet.
I'm too feral, I have no preference.
Yeah, I wanted to give a lot of thanks as of late, because when I grew up, I kind of came from a lot of chaos. And so seeing the health in other families around me in Hudson just didn't make some of the difference, it made all the difference. So then when chaos came at my door and illegally took a house with no mortgage, all my personal property, my ability to travel, my ability to seek employment, my kids, and allow them to be criminally abused for 2,335 days now. I give thanks still for how awesome and beautiful and healthy the American family is. And that as I've been living off a bike for 3 years, there's so many beautiful families. It's unbelievable. It's just magic. I just wish more of our servants who volunteer to be our public servants had a copy of a Constitution and read it once in a while. You know? Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you, Jim. We appreciate it. Thank you for your generosity. 20 happy dollars there. Yes, Susan, and thank you, Army graduate too on the way back. Get my steps in.
Yes, so I am happy to celebrate with my fellow Rotarians every week that I can come and do the 4-way test. Is it the truth? That is so important. I also am celebrating the Lunar New Year with my Asian friends and anybody else that celebrates. All of you should be aware that Saturday there's a big celebration at Akron Civic Theater, and one of my former students who teaches at the Science Middle School is having all of her students of Mandarin perform. So it's free, 5:30 to 8, so please attend. I have disappointing news for Yara, because she was not able to sign up for the trip to the West Coast because of everything being so convoluted and new and difficult. So if you have any travel plans that you can include a young teenager on in the future, why, think about it, that she, I know, would like to see the rest of the country. And as I said, that's one sad news. The other one is every time there's a shooting, I am reminded of the friends that I left when I left Columbine High School. I don't know if you all know that I taught at Columbine High School, but I came here in '89, so of course I was teaching teachers in '99. And every time we have a mass shooting, whether it's in a school or wherever, I'm reminded of all of the work that we have been trying to do forever. And I just need your support to say, yes, indeed, we need to change what's going on in our country. So with that, I hand it back.
Thank you, Susan. Hugh.
I'm happy, because I'm going to Florida tomorrow for a week. Get out of this cold snow.
There you go. That's definitely something to be happy about. Anyone else happy? All right, back to you, Linda. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Hugh. Ended on a happy note. You're going to Florida tomorrow. Woohoo! I love it. Thank you. All right, just real quickly, a couple announcements. A reminder for David Hall, I see you're here. Real quick, Akron Food Bank. I put you on the spot.
Just press it now for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, we have Akron Food Bank Project, February 22nd, Ash Wednesday, 4:30 and 6:30, and I will be sending out a sign-up email, probably just after, our chili open, so, if you can come, we'd love to have you. Thank you.
Thanks, David. Any other, how about some, Dan or Cindy's not here, Jeff? Or Angie, any updates on the chili open that you want to go? Woo-hoo?
Yeah, Linda, thank you. Hey, thank you to everybody that came out Friday night to Whitey's. Had a really nice turnout, nice event. Thank you to everybody that brought some alcohol today. I'm going to test it just after the meeting to make sure it's correct. No, but thank you. It's coming together. We're still behind in a lot of areas, so let's not stop asking. Let's not stop giving. We're down to less than a couple weeks, so thank you very much for everything that you've done, and if we can help you in any other way, please reach out. Amanda, Dan, Mella, thank you for all you guys are doing. You're working really hard. So let's keep it going. Thank you.
And Dan, what do you say?
I don't know what I'm gonna say.
Get her done.
Let's get it done.
Dan says get it done for those online, all right.
Angie's got a quick update.
Yeah, just a real quick update. As of right now, not counting what people have turned in, we're just under $13,000 in sales for the raffle tickets. We do need $40,000 for the car, so please keep that in mind. If anybody needs more tickets, you can ask for them. If you've got stubs and money that you've not turned in yet, please do so either here or at the Rotary camp. And please remember to share on social media. It's really important and it really does a lot for us. So thank you all.
Thanks, Angie. All right, we're in the countdown days. How many days, Dan?
I don't know, it's less than 2 weeks.
Less than 2 weeks. We need that countdown, Dan. We need the countdown. Oh,
Linda,
yes.
Doug had something to say. Doug House Connect.
Go ahead.
Thanks. I'm online. I couldn't get there fast enough from Polsky, so I'm doing this online. But I'm in charge of the volunteers. We sent out a volunteer request. We'll be sending out some more volunteer requests. Please jump in on those volunteer slots. We need people out the day of and the day before the chili open to get things set up and get things running.
Very good. Thanks, Dr. Doug. Thank you, sir. Thank you. He's doing an SOS for volunteers, and you can do it online, correct, Doug?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, we're good. So thanks again. Oh, and Terry Dalton's online, and Terry's heading up the scholarship. And I believe, Terry, you have everybody in place for the interviews, correct?
I did have to change the February 1st date to February 15th, so I will be seeking out 2 more individuals. I've got a couple who are willing to be backups, but I'm looking for otherwise for anybody else for February 15th. I'll send out an email.
Okay, and our April 25th dinner here has been okay, so FYI, Terry.
Good.
I did check on that for you. So.
All right. Thank you
More
much.
information to follow. We'll have our scholarship dinner here April 25th. So we look forward to celebrating our youth. So with that being said, on your table, take a look. We need folks, wonderful folks, to sign up for Jerry Kiefer's offsite little field trip that we're having, and it's February 7th, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I put a flyer on your table, so please join us. It'll be an exciting day for all of us. So Jerry, thanks for coordinating that. And then also an FYI on the Fair Lawn Rotary Observatory, John Chulin is advertising that. And again, if you're looking for a great thing for your family, for your kids, or just to go, that observatory is a wonderful evening out. The grant committee, if you're on the grant committee, Sandy had to cancel that meeting today because she's out of town. So, any other quick announcements? No? Father, it's good to have you. Father Dean is here. So he's the priest here at our church, his church. I just made it my church. I just made it my church. 9:30 on Sunday. We'll make that happen sometime, Father. All right, Miss Jerry, do you want to do the honors today, please, for our wonderful guest speaker? Don't trip on the pool. No, I'm going to not trip on the pool.
Just another note on the offsite meeting at the Blue Teak Hotel. We will need your reservations by January 31st so that we can report in. So far I have 10 people going. There are 3 lunch choices. It's $20 just like here. Parking will be, your parking ticket will be refunded by a very special person to me. So it's free except for the lunch. And Tony Tropy plans to entertain us regally. He did not tell me what he's going to do, but you know Tony. If you know Tony, he's on it. He'll be really good. Okay. If you have any questions, you can always send me an email. What date was that? February 7th. 2 weeks. Right. Okay, Andrew, I'm delighted to welcome Andrew. I will take the personal responsibility of having found him through an excellent article in the Beacon Journal a few months ago, which profiled his incredible farm. And as I was reading it at 5 o'clock in the morning, while having my coffee, I said, I got to get a hold of him. So immediately I did. And here he is. Andrew Thorn is a software developer whose drive to spend time outdoors with his family started Rhythm and Roots Farm. He is passionate about people providing for themselves and others. He started the farm in Copley about 2 years ago with his wife and 3 children with the intention of providing healthy, pasture-raised poultry and pork for his family and others as well. So, Andrew.
Thank you. I'm glad we're doing a little improv today because that's how I roll. I'm supposed to share this PowerPoint. Maybe. Or do I share this from Zoom? Where's Brian? Zoom? Yeah, that's what you told me before. The button, the green button. This one, oh yeah, the big green button, yeah. Oh, actually.
Now we can go to slideshow from beginning.
Perfect.
You're all set.
Yeah, so my wife put this together so I don't get too off track. But I guess, so I want to talk about, I guess, how we got where we're at, what we started, who I am, which I'm still figuring out. So I'm actually a software developer. What that has to do with farming is very little, but as I've gone along, I've found it's very similar. So in software development, I'm always just basically trying to solve problems. Things come up, I want to find a solution, software breaks, I got to try to fix it. So I've always been a problem solver. Little did I know, starting a farm is a lot of problems. So I'm going around trying to figure out how to fix something or build a better coop and keep animals in. So I've actually found they're very similar. So it may surprise some people, but it's very interesting. In addition to that, my wife also holds 2 jobs, and we do homeschooling and all sorts of stuff while starting up a first generation farm. So it's very busy around my household, but I don't think any of us would have it any other way. It's brought us all very close together, which is another big reason why we do it. So I'll start, I guess, how we started down in Virginia. I guess not the actual Rhythm and Roots farm, but me and my wife, when we got married, we were kind of bored. So we actually both worked in IT. That's where we met. We were bored, so we figured we'd get a couple chickens. And then we got a couple more. And then we got a couple rabbits and goats and everything else. And next thing I know, I've built 5 or 6 different random chicken coops as each one gets better. And we learned a lot. We learned that rabbits are not for us. We learned that I don't like goats, but they're a necessity. And they're very interesting. They're kind of like big cats, if you really think about it. So we still have goats, we still have chickens, but now we also do ducks and we did bees for a while, sheep, and got a horse. So we kind of do a little bit of everything, but as time has gone on, we've whittled that down to more specific. It's hard to do a lot of different things. Can you not hear me? I'm sorry. Now is that better? I'll just start over. So yeah, started with chickens and it still ends with chickens. We just have 3,000 chickens now. But so a lot of the reasons why we like chickens and why in general people like to start with chickens are why we started was with health benefits before we had a family, and then as we grew kids and all sorts of things, we found a lot of other great reasons to have chickens and a farm. My oldest now grows some of his own chickens and his own turkeys, so if you buy from the farm, every once in a while, one of them will be raised solely by him and paid for by him. He's now the richest 7-year-old I know. But chickens are also just very easy to care for. A chicken gets out, it may be a pain, but you just go catch it. It's a little different when a pig gets out or sheep get out, they like to run. So I do have stories of pigs getting out. We had 6 pigs one time. I didn't know they got out because they're in the backfield. So they get out and they proceeded to go through 3 or 4 different neighbors' front yards and landed up in the landscaper's yard with his manicured lawn and proceeded to destroy that lawn. We're still friends, so my pigs just can't visit anymore. So chickens are great to start with. Yes, they are also very efficient. So I have ease of conversion to meat. So chickens, depending on what kind of chicken you have, you can grow a chicken for 8 weeks and you'll get up 5 pounds of meat. So that's pretty efficient. And they also, if you do them pastured, so everything we do is pastured. They eat about 20 to 30% of their diet is all forage, which increases omega-3s as well as the sunlight. So that's why chickens we like to keep outside. They get 3 times more omega-3s in those eggs than even your organic eggs from the store. So we like to make sure they get sunlight, grass. It's cheaper, it's a lot more work, but it's better food. So I think I'm probably talking about that on my next slide. No, I don't. So chickens have been really good. They're really easy, and I think everybody should probably start with chickens if you want to do chickens. But that's kind of how we started getting up and going. We started doing about 100 chickens, and this is before we had the business as a farm, but we would grow for ourselves, and that's how we started everything. We never intended to sell or become a business. But as we grew along, we figured 100 chickens, what's 200 chickens? What's 300 chickens? So then we've soon enough, we're growing more than we can eat. So we're buying lots of chest freezers and stocking up, and eventually we don't know what to do with it. So we started selling it to family and friends. And then we just decided to make a jump because we really enjoyed it. We liked the time we got to spend with our kids and doing all the morning chores, and we kind of liked what that turned into. So we started a business and then started doing 1,000 at a time. Over time, we try to double every year, and that's how we got, I guess, to the size we're at. Not that it's a large operation, but it's at least something. So we now grow somewhere between 15 and 20,000 pounds of food a year. We've tried expanding a couple different ways. Some work, some don't. I do not have a green thumb, so we do not sell vegetables. I don't know why. We try every year and it just never works. But I can grow animals and we can care for animals, and I've always been an animal guy. So after chickens, we moved to pigs. We moved to pigs because after we bought the property here in Copley and then officially started the business, we would do 3 to 6 pigs a year. And we found that they really, really liked that property. The backfield is just marsh. It's always super wet for 6 months out of the year, and it's hard to keep any animals on it. But pigs love that. So we fence some stuff in and have pigs back there, and they have an absolute ball. Plus, there's a lot of stuff out there for them to eat, and that makes for better food there as well. I have here, pigs do convert meat just as well as chicken. I think about 1/3 of the food a pig will eat will turn into pork, which is pretty efficient. Now, we don't grow commercial pigs. We try to do heritage, and our favorite at this point is called a Mangalitsa pig. So they're from Hungary, and they almost went extinct for a good while because they were grown for fat, not their meat. So they were grown and they'd use it in oil lamps, and fat was a lot more useful. And then they kind of went extinct. But there were still some, and they're coming back now. And I don't remember who, but somebody brought them over to America, and they are phenomenal. Great temperament. They're known as the woolly pig. They actually look like this. So it's not what you think of when you think of a pig, but they are fantastic. And the benefits of all that hair is they don't get sunburn like your commercial pig, and they can play with my kids. So a lot of pigs can be dangerous, and these pigs, as long as you raise them right, can become very, very family friendly. But I can't even eat pork from a store anymore. This is my favorite kind. But you can look into them. They're really cool. We've also moved to another type of pig called IPPs, Idaho pasture pigs. They're a mixture of a breed with Cooney coons who have a special enzyme where they can digest grass. So we have lots of fields, and as we try to grow this farm and build this farm, we want to use what we have in the best way possible. We don't have very much that can eat grass because of how wet it is. So we found that IPP pigs can keep down the grass and make use of all that food. I have to mow the lawn less, and they're also really, really friendly. So we like them. Balances. So yeah, there's always, as we've grown and expanded, we've run into plenty of issues that all the problem solving comes into play. So we've scaled back a bit. Last year, I said we're trying to double every year. So we've grown pretty fast, and maybe too fast. So I still hold my programming job, and my wife still has 2 jobs, and we still homeschool. So it's become difficult. Last year we had some interns and stuff like that, but we think we're finally not going to double next year. We're not reducing. We're going to kind of move stuff around, go a little bit more pigs, and keep chickens where we're at. But we're going to I think we're going to slow down and grow more healthily. I think we've grown fast enough. But the other addition is the unpredictability of feed right now. So I know that feed, I have a chart later, but feed has, come up quite a bit, and we expect next year probably be a lot more, as we did not grow as much grain this year, and those prices are usually a year delayed as the stockpiles from grain last year go to next year. So I'm not sure what feed costs will be, but we're keeping an eye on that. Butcher costs also very interesting. A butchery, they're pretty backed up right now, so we've had problems getting butcher dates. It is not uncommon that I need to call and schedule butcher dates for a pig that's not been born yet in order to make sure I can get in there. So we have to manage those things as well. Profitability, as these costs vary wildly right now. And then family time, as we do this, more for other family. We did this, started with the family, it's still for the family. We just want to start sharing that with other people. So as we kind of bring in interns and help teach people, we're starting to do a couple classes like chicken butchery and things like that people are interested in, because that's kind of why we're doing it. So those are some challenges that we go through, and we kind of learn as we're going along. Here's a little bit about feed costs. As you see, it has been that level before, but the rise has been quite rapid, and I'm curious to see what next year looks like. But things we kind of have to account for before the season starts. I don't know, who has any farming experience? Anybody farming stuff? Yeah, yeah, your feed costs going up and stuff, and yeah, it's every day, every time I get the bill, it's different. So, anyways, I guess how we want to grow. So as we grew and doubled every year, we started having a lot of food. So we put in walk-in freezer and more chest freezers and all this kind of stuff, but we can't just keep stockpiling meat, we need to sell it. So our old retail methods and selling direct to consumer through our website wasn't quite enough. So we expanded to Market Wagon. I don't know if anybody's heard of them. They're fairly new in Northeast Ohio, but it's basically an online farmer's market. And we really like them. You can go there, you can shop for all sorts of cool exotic meats, your normal stuff. So we get all of our milk through there and our vegetables, and they deliver it right to your door. So once a week we deliver their warehouse, and then they can deliver it to everybody else. The reason why we can't do this is because there's different licensing and cold storage licenses that you have to have that I'm not sure we have the time to keep and maintain. So they have been able to help us quite a bit in getting that food delivered and increasing sales. And actually, I think there was a news article, it was a Cleveland news article that they just did with that as well, because they're expanding very quickly, and we like them a lot, so I highly recommend you checking them out. I think these are just some pictures and the reasons why we're doing it in my family. We'll see, like, my kids have learned a lot, and we do homeschool, and this has been a great tool to teach them a lot of different things. You'd be very surprised at how much school lines up with just spending time outside and teaching the kids about how to do this. So my oldest is raising his own chickens, and he knows a lot about business. So he's out there, he knows all his multiplication and everything else as he calculates everything for his own little chickens. So he did quails for a while and discovered that was less profitable and moved to chickens and did turkeys. My middle son finally did turkeys this year as well. So I'm curious. I don't care if they take over the farm when I grow up. A lot of people ask that question. If we start a first generation farm, it's up to them. I think everybody should kind of have some animal experience because you learn a lot from it. So I hope they grow up with families that have at least some chickens or something like that their kids can enjoy. But yeah, all in all, that's kind of my story. Anybody have questions or anything about the farm?
I'm curious how did you come up with the name?
Oh,
go ahead, Katie.
Sorry.
How did you come up with the name Rhythm and Roots?
So Rhythm and Roots came from a competition. I am terrible at naming anything. So is my wife. So we created a competition on Instagram saying whoever had the best name would get, I think it was like $100 of free pork. So that was the one we liked the most because I used to be a drummer for 10, 15 years all through school. So that fit really well, but it also fits because we like that each day you do chores on the farm and everything, there's quite a rhythm to it, but it's also not the same. So it's very rooted in that, but the rhythm goes each day, but each day is still different. So I kind of liked how that all fit together.
Very interesting.
Am I supposed to not ask questions? Or?
Well, you can, I'm just bringing the mic around.
Okay,
I was going to say, very fascinating presentation. Yeah, go ahead.
So just a quick question on feeding the pigs. Can you feed like the pigs, the rabbits, and the chickens?
Yes.
You can.
So
Okay.
they're a great conversion for chickens who have mishaps. So if you have 1,000 chickens, you're going to have some dead ones. Okay. Our fatality rate is very low because of the way we move them every day. They don't get sick from disease, but we have predator problems and things like that. So those chickens can turn into bacon. So that's the way it works, and it's efficient.
And what do the predators look like? Is it just like coyotes and
So yeah,
foxes? Or?
if we don't have so many coyotes, because actually the pigs can keep them at bay. We also have a livestock guardian dog that keeps most large predators away. But we have problems with like mink, and the main one would be hawks. Skunks, mink, and raccoons are a constant, but they're more of trouble eating our feed than the chickens. The hawks can just shred through some chickens. So yeah, it's tough to keep up with.
What variety of chickens do you raise? Are they all similar, or do you for meat, or do you do eggs?
We do eggs as well. So we have about 100 egg-laying chickens, and they're a variety. So we have the rainbow eggs you see. So we have blue eggs, white eggs, brown eggs, yellow eggs, all sorts of colors because you think it's really cool. It's also really nice to be diverse. It helps with the pecking order and whatnot. Our meat chickens are all Cornish cross. So a lot of people think Cornish cross are genetically modified and all that kind of stuff, and they are quite a weird monster. It's amazing to grow a chicken in 8 weeks, but they are not genetically modified. They are bred over hundreds of years to become very large, so we're okay with that, and it also just simply tastes better. So it's pretty hard to be profitable if you're not using a Cornish cross.
One last question. With respect to the I think it's the avian flu, or
Yes.
that's been affecting the commercial,
Yes.
Raising of chickens and eggs. Is that something that a local farmer like that has to be concerned about, cross contamination, or
Yes.
because of the way you raise it, it's not as much of an issue?
Yeah, so avian flu this year is actually, it has not been that widely reported on, but it's been the worst outbreak since we've had ever. And they say this year will actually be worse. So it is something we have to worry about. So, and they are out pastured. So we do the best we can, but we keep them in separate coops and we keep them far enough away that if a contamination had happened, it usually you're going to know within a day or two. So we try to keep them as separate as possible, but it's just a risk we got to take. We are not going to go put them in a chicken house because that's not what we want to do. So we do keep them outside, but we keep them covered. So that keeps droppings from the air and chickens or other birds around. But we do move them. So as it moves, they have that susceptibility, and it's possible. We just take the risk.
Yeah, go ahead, David.
So can you just kind of go over the numbers, how many chickens, how many pigs, and how many acres your farm is?
So we have a 17-acre farm, 17 acres. We don't quite use all of it, but we do, everything's rotated. So we try to keep it, all the grass down, and we can rotate it. It keeps them on fresh grass, keeps them more healthy. We currently have about 16 pigs. We're moving to a breeding program this year, so we'll breed, they can breed actually 3 times a year, but it's safer to 2 times. So each breeding pair will have 20, 30 kids each year. So that will probably grow exponentially, but some of that will be sales, and then some of it will grow for ourselves. So the pig operation will grow. Egg chickens, we have about 100, and then meat chickens, we grow about 3,000 a year. Although we'll see what happens next year. It changes every year.
Personal question, has it been tough? You mentioned the pigs being able to be friends, just great pets for the children as well too. Has it been tough to transition from that love of an animal to then, eating the pork for the kids at least?
Yeah, so I'm the kid that grew up and cried if my brother stepped on an ant.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is difficult. And the sheep are very difficult, but it becomes a different thing when it's for that purpose to start with. Plus, I really like bacon.
Me too. Good answer.
So yeah, it's part of it, and I'm okay with it because that's just how it is.
Oh, okay, let me grab Steve, and then I'll bring it back, guys. Sorry. Oh, all right.
Andrew?
Do you just sell through the online, or do you sell to people in Copley as well?
Yeah, so in Copley, I mean, you can come to the farm, but we don't have a storefront.
Where are you at?
And so right off Copley down Lakeland Road.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's not far. It's kind of by that McDonald's on 77.
Oh, yeah.
So we do sell on our own website. So if you order from that website, we'll send you an email saying when it's ready for pickup, and we have a pickup freezer out in the front. So you can just stop by, pick up your order. We can also do farm tours if you want, but winter is not the best time. It's all muddy. So in addition to Market Wagon, it's just our website. But if you show up, we'll make something happen for you.
Do you have any type of ability to come up with a deterrent to the hawks? And I'm wondering, is there any type of like a sound system or anything that can minimize, what happens there?
So every year I go through every solution possible, and we have tried everything. There is, as far as I found, there is no foolproof way. The best things I have found are these light systems that we can put on top of the coops that have a randomized red flashing lights. So they look like another owl or a hawk or a predator. That would generally scare them off because most hawks are territorial. So if there's another one there, they would not really come around. That has been very effective, but only works at night. But the hawks are still gonna go around in the daytime. So the second best thing we found is the livestock guardian dog. So even if the dog is not in with the chickens, the dog can generally scare them off from a distance. I will say since we've gotten that dog, I have yet to have even lost a chicken this year to a hawk. So my first year ever. Yeah. Now it doesn't mean I haven't lost any chickens to the dog. So. but it is less.
So when it comes to butchering, do you clean any of the pigs yourself on site, or do you send them off site?
So it depends. There's a lot of legalities to it. The chickens have a federal exemption where you can do your own chickens. And we do. We have all the processing equipment, and we do one big processing every year. We do about 100 of them, more or less for fun. We find it a really nice time to get friends and family together and kind of hang out. It's a great bonding experience. You wouldn't think so? I'm telling you, it is really nice. It becomes through the system, and then that's secondary, and you just kind of talk all day and have a good time. So we also do some training at that time if people want to come out. The pigs, I have done them my own when I can't get a butcher date, but I can't sell it. So anything that I do myself, I have to keep, unless it's a whole chicken. If I cut up the chicken, I can't sell it. So it has to be a whole federally exempt chicken. But for the vast majority, I'm driving every single week, an hour and a half to a butcher to drop off some chickens.
No? Any other questions? This has been phenomenal. I'm glad we had plenty of time for questions. So,
Connor?
Andrew, this was fantastic. Thank you so much. Very fascinating. We appreciate you coming out.
We have a Rotary coin for you.
What?
And in addition, the pin that you're wearing, which is the Imagine pin, we have one for your wife,
Oh,
who
perfect.
helped you with the presentation.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Absolutely. I don't know how to turn this thing off, but I'll try.
Andrew, thank you for that great presentation. And personally, it's very comforting to know that the next time my wife calls me a woolly pig, it's actually a compliment.
It is. Hey, there's a bar too, like 2 hours from here, called the Woolly Pig.
Oh, I'll go there.
And they have mangalitas.
Would you mind
If I can turn this thing off.
ticket for the jackpot today is actually a record jackpot of $8. It's a record this week. So.
With prices, what is that, a couple dozen eggs? No, it doesn't.
Yeah, right. Maybe it does.
So if I,
Sold out already, look.
I'll just close this out. I don't know if I broke it or not, but.
No, you
Andrew.
don't kill yourself on the wires.
We got 229208.
Hey, Linda?
229-208.
Yes.
Linda, Doug had a comment.
There you go.
But, Jack, so you know we're not cheating, we'll throw it back to the club. Okay?
Oh, thank you. Very good, thank you. Thanks again. David wanted to know, what do you do with the feathers from the chickens?
It makes excellent compost.
Compost?
Yes.
That's interesting. I never thought of feathers being in a compost. Terry, you had a question?
I think Doug Housecock had a question or a comment.
Yeah, just a quick mention to the speaker. Earlier today on Facebook, I noticed something where somebody was commenting about hawks and their free-range chickens, and they had one of those advertising blowing guys with the fan that swing back and forth, using that to scare hawks away. So hey, it just it happened to show up, so I pulled it up on my other screen while I was sitting here. So I put the link in the chat. Maybe you want to look into that.
That's a great idea. Yeah, hawks get used to things, so scarecrows won't work, but I think the blowy thing is actually a pretty good idea. I'll have to look at that.
Jack Herrick is online. So Jack, you have a question?
Yes, I want to thank the speaker. It took me back many years during World War II. My dad raised chickens, did 10,000 a year, and a lot of chicken stuff. And the other thing is, a farmer that lived down the road from us, every year would shoot a chicken hawk and he would nail it to the door of his barn. That was to keep the rest of them away.
I wish I could do that. It is unfortunately illegal. I do know farmers that do. I don't. I've tried to scare them, but I think that's illegal too. But yeah.
Thanks, Jack. Thank you. Hi to Vivian. Okay, any other questions for Andrew?
card?
On your table, he has a black business card.
These are magnets on the table.
So,
I have business cards here.
Oh,
if you want
okay.
them,
so there's, take a note at, look at those, pass them out maybe so others can share in the
but-
the
Yeah, let me know if
celebration.
there's not enough, but yeah, so.
That's good. Thanks,
All right.
Andrew. Again, come back and give us an update on those chickens and pigs and how it's going. Again, I just want to remind, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, yeah, he was the winner. He wants to, here, I'll pull the jackpot. for him.
Okay.
So, that's like the 10 bucks. All right.
Okay. Thanks, Jeff. Good job. Again, don't forget to register online for our offsite on February 7th. Again, Jerry has done a phenomenal job of doing this. So please sign up. And then also, don't forget our Chili Open. And we look forward to having a great time. Mella's got tickets. She's got our raffle tickets. She's got her hands up, so if you need some more, she's waving them in the air. So if you need some, stop by and see Mella. So that's great. Oh, any other updates that we need to bring forward? Again, to our guests, welcome. Please come again. We'd love to have you. And David, thanks for giving us an update. And then also we need to remind people that the club is looking for host families for exchange students for next year, for 22-23. David's a great resource. If you have any questions about inbound or outbound students, Susan is also a great resource. And so we are very fortunate. And what's the update on Manny? I was thinking about him.
Great.
He's doing good.
Yeah, he said, let's end the meeting.
Good. So we'll tell him hello from the Rotary Club over to Korea. So bless his heart. So Susan, what do you want to say quickly?
We also have Samantha who's in Brazil, and she's doing very well.
Great. Well, that's good. And Brazil. That's so wonderful to have those exchange students. So we're really happy. Next Tuesday, we have Stephen McCarthy, Esquire. He's the Executive Director of Community Legal Aid. So he will be our guest speaker next Tuesday, the 31st, the end of January. So, Chili Open, get her done. Have a good afternoon. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.